I think it's safe to say that Leo Tolstoy is one of the most influential writers of all time. Most writers, old and new, have him to thank for paving the way. The advances he made for fiction works were and still are truly remarkable. Early in his writing career, Tolstoy wrote two of the most influential novels of all time, War and Peace and Anna Karenina. He also had a few short stories published throughout his career as well. The Death of Ivan Ilyich and Master and Man, just to name a few. Tolstoy also had a major influence on religious and political issues that included his Boxer support during the Boxer Rebellion, his On Anarchy essay professing his views on and support of anarchy, and his work with Gandhi that sadly only lasted a year before he passed away. Tolstoy's most famous and world-renowned works were War and Peace, which was published sometime between 1865 and 1869, and Anna Karenina, which was published sometime between 1875 and 1877. First, we'll discuss Tolstoy's War and Peace. War and Peace is about 5 different families during the time of the Napoleon invasion in Russia. This book is known for having many characters within the story, 580 to be exact. This novel was specifically meant to convey Tolstoy's feeling that all was predestined and decided for us when we were born, but that as humans we cannot fully live unless we believe that we have free will of some sort. Tolstoy's next most famous novel was Anna Karenina. Anna Karenina was the story of a married woman who had an affair with a man that she also loved. At the end of the novel, Anna is so distraught with her failed marriage, her failed affair, and never being able to see her child again, that she throws herself in front of an oncoming train. This novel has been turned into a movie multiple times, the most recent being a 2012 remake starring Keira Knightley as Anna Karenina and Jude Law as her husband. Along with his novels, Tolstoy was also known for his phenomenal short stories. Possibly his best-known short story was The Death of Ivan Ilyich. The Death of Ivan Ilyich was published in 1886, just years after Tolstoy had made his first steps into Christianity. The Death of Ivan Ilyich is about a judge in 19th century Russia who injures himself while hanging curtains and soon dies at the young age of 45. This story also deals with the judge coming to terms with death and realizing that he cannot prevent the inevitable. Another phenomenal short story of Tolstoy's would be Master and Man. This short story was published in 1895. This story is about a landowner and one of his peasants who to make a journey to a small house in the forest and become stuck in a blizzard. When the peasant comes down with hypothermia, the master leaves him to die. The master soon is confronted by personal ghosts and realizes that he must go back to save the slave. The master dies from being exposed from too much cold while attempting to save the slave by laying on top of him. The slave lives but loses a few toes to frostbite. Tolstoy was known for his religious and political beliefs as much as his writing. Tolstoy had strong religious views that only seemed to get stronger over the years. In 1884, Tolstoy published What I Believe, which was only his start to professing his religious beliefs. This work was so controversial at the time that it was banned. Around this same time was when Tolstoy decided that he was going to give up his comfortable life and go out and live like a poor peasant. This, of course, didn't last long. Tolstoy had a very strong and political and philosophical ideas that influenced others around him at the time. Tolstoy was a known Boxer supporter during the Boxer Rebellion in China. He accused the Russians and Germans of being extremely unchristian. In 1900, Tolstoy wrote an essay called On Anarchy, where he openly voiced his anarchy beliefs. He wrote that the anarchists are right in everything, in the negation of the existing order and in the assertion that, without authority, there could be no worse violence than that of authority under existing conditions. Tolstoy influenced Gandhi, the Capp movement in Palestine, and was a major supporter of the Esperanto movement. Gandhi was so inspired by Tolstoy that he decided to name a colony in South Africa after him. So, as you can see, Leo Tolstoy had done many influential things over his lifetime. He wrote 2 of the most amazing novels, Anna Karenina and War and Peace. Tolstoy also published many short stories, Master and Man and The Death of Ivan Ilyich. The most important of these things, though, was that Leo Tolstoy had a strong political and religious influence on the things and the people around him. I hope my speech has given you some insight on Leo Tolstoy, his works, and his beliefs.